At this point, we're going to start making our gravy. This is what they call a cold roux. Are you guys familiar with what roux is? Okay. So roux is just butter and flour. Well, that's cooked. So what this is called is beurre mate, and it's spelled M-A-T-T-E. So it becomes it's like an uncooked roux. Okay. It's a thickening agent anytime you're going to make sauces and stuff. If you're going to do some of the classes I'm going to do later when we do like saltimbocas, piccatas, and things like that, you'll see the usefulness of that and how it plays into it. And you'll see now too as well. So if you guys ever want to make a really nice chicken gravy or whatever, I'll teach you now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of onion, a little bit of garlic, some of the flavors we would have had, some rosemary and thyme. This style of gravy will actually transfer to any style of gravy that you want to make. So it doesn't really matter what you're going for, whatever flavor. So beurre mate, make sure you get butter that has been brought up to room temperature. Okay. You're going to put it into a bowl. So the same amount of butter, say you put a half a pound of butter in, you'll want to add a half a cup of flour. So this is a thickening agent. This is like how to make roux and save time. You know what I mean? And the thing is you can save it; it'll never go bad. As long as you keep it refrigerated, it doesn't spoil. So you're basically what you're going to do is, because you'll have your soft butter, you're going to sit there and you're going to mix the flour and butter together until it becomes like you can put this in like a little butter dish you have with a lid, put it in wherever, you know. So, but you want to make sure that you mix it really, 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 really well. And the reason that is because if not, what happens is the butter will break. When the butter breaks, the milk solids, your sauce breaks.
I asked how much flour and how much butter?
Yeah, for whatever you're going to use, if you're going to use a half a pound of butter, you're going to add a half a cup of flour. No matter what you're going to be cooking, the one thing that almost all food requires is some form of acid. Citruses, vinegars, white wines, red wines, wines in nature, alcohols. So anytime after you get the caramelization process, this actually stops the cooking or slows down the process, okay? But what it's going to do is it's going to lift what is called fond. And it's going to lift the fond out of the grooves of the pan and bring that flavor back into the sauce. So you have the caramelized veg, then you have your white wine. You let that reduce down to 25%, and that term's called Ossack. Okay, so reduced down by 25%. I added my chicken flavoring. So your butter will go into a saute pan and add your sugar into that, okay? So once this starts melting down, you add your sugar in. Once you get that nice and you'll start forming like like almost a syrup style.
Unsalted butter, right?
You know what? Honestly, not for nothing. It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
The only time I would say to use unsalted butter is a lot of cooking or baking recipes call for unsalted butter.
It doesn't matter.
No, not in food, because you're going to do a little bit of seasoning of your own anyway. So you're going to add salt, or once you taste it, you're going to know whether you need more or less. So you are going to let this reduce down a little bit, and you're going to get what they call brown butter. It's going to start hitting what they call a brown butter sauce. I'm sure some of you guys are familiar with brown butter sauce. Our French term is called beurroisette. So now that means it's brown butter. Oisette is brown in French. With that, what you're getting is a layer of nutty flavor. You know what I mean? The milk fats turn into like just a really good nutty flavor. So I did put on there to make sure that you use a high-speed whip, okay? If you have a KitchenAid, the best method by far. If not, make sure that you have a really good, durable hand mixer that has like a high speed on it that can get it. There's a reason why, because there's a difference between what a mash and a whip is, okay? So mashed potatoes is a little bit more rough and you'll have chunks of the potato in there. A whip is light and fluffy. And so you'll want to whip it, and you'll get that air in there, and that air kind of like expands it, and it makes it really nice. Yeah. Half hour just before you're ready to sit down and pull the turkey out. Yep. Okay. You guys can always use cornstarch to thicken with. A lot of people do. The thing with cornstarch is you have to let it cook longer to cook the starch out, because you'll have that really starchy flavor. And also with the roux, it provides another flavor because the butter's going in. So you want to wait for it to get a really nice rolling boil, okay? And especially for, I did a 1/4 cup, especially for the turkey juices that are coming out, which will be probably considerable. You're going to have quite a bit of liquid, so you're definitely going to want to use a little bit more thickening agent than you would on anything else. Normally, like if we were thickening a sauce, if I was doing a piccata marsala or whatever, I would only use like a very, very tiny bit, and it would thicken it up itself really quick. But when you have more liquid, of course you got to add more thickening agent. And always remember this: if your food is too salty at one point, or if it's like almost there, you think, well, it's not quite over salted, but it might be in a little bit, the more it reduces down, the stronger the salt flavor becomes. So you want to make sure that if it's a little salty and you have to add water or more stock or something to bring it back, then do that, because as it reduces, it becomes stronger.